I'm going to answer the questions that you guys have asked me on Instagram. Right when our limit order would have been hit, we would have instantly went into profit. I started using supply and demand. That's when I started finding profitability. For the people that weren't able to make it, they could just come here, watch it, and still gain the same value. We'll end up taking shorts from there. I'm confident in myself and I'm confident in my strategy and I'm not over leveraging. Good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday. Welcome to another video. Today, we got a decent amount of things in store, mainly more just editing and filming a few videos, stuff like that. But in about 20 minutes, I'm going to be going live with the team. We're going to be doing our normal Sunday session, and we're going to be going over last week's market. We're going to be marking out levels for this week, stuff like that, going over red folder news. And then I'm probably going to hit the gym, probably go to the pool for a little layout while I edit some of this video. And then I just need to film a few shorts, edit a few things in the WAP, do stuff like that. So really it's going to be a productive day today, but it's kind of going to be more behind the scenes, just doing a lot of back end stuff for sure. But figured I'd film a little bit of a vlog, and then actually what I'm going to do, I'm going to answer between 5 to 10 questions that you guys have asked me on Instagram later. So that's probably going to be definitely a big chunk of it. But the next clip you're going to see is a few clips from the live session this morning. And look at the entry though. Like the entry would have been perfect. No drawdown. We were interested in this level as well on Dow, but never got the pullback into that level. We just kept falling, literally falling, never got the pullback. Now this is a level I'll be interested in this week, and we'll end up taking shorts from there to the H4. Notice this previous contrary candle right here. Let's go ahead and mark that H4. We literally tapped into it perfectly, and that is what's giving us the move up right now. So, I mean, the issue is, look, if we enter off the M15, got no other time frames. If we enter off here, we have the H1, H4, but the H4 is just kind of at the end of our stop loss. What I'm doing now is I'm uploading the live to the WAP in the TCU recording section. For the people that were not able to see it live, they can go here and watch it. So I'm going to go ahead, add that right now. Let's drag this over here. And we're uploading the video. For the people that weren't able to make it, they could just come here, watch it, and still gain the same value. I was gonna go work out and sit by the pool, but it's dark and thundering out right now, so I'm gonna go ahead and just let the weather pass and probably go a little later. So I'm gonna answer the questions that you guys have asked me on Instagram right now, and like I said, I'm gonna answer between 5 and 10 of them. The first question is, how many trades do I take per day on average? So whenever I do place a trade, I normally take 1 trade in a day. No matter if that's a win or a loss, it's normally just 1 trade per day. If I win, I don't want to give my money back to the market. I want to just go ahead and secure those profits. If I lose, I don't want to risk losing even more. So that's why I literally cap it at 1 trade per day most of the time. Now in my trading plan, I do allow myself to take 2 trades per day, but I literally never take 2 trades in a day. In the last 6 months, I've maybe placed 2 trades in a day 1 time. The second question is, how do I stay calm when a trade's going against me? That's easy. I'm confident in myself and I'm confident in my strategy and I'm not over leveraging. Now, if you're over leveraging and you're risking way too much, you're gonna probably panic. But for me, I only risk a certain amount that I'm comfortable with losing. And like I said, I've been trading the same strategy for quite some time now, and I've been trading for quite some time. So I'm confident in myself and confident in my strategy. And I know even if I do lose on, let's say, that specific trade, I can make a lot more back in my upcoming trades. The third question is, do I need experience to join your group? No, you do not. We have people that have been trading for years in there, and we have people that have been trading for 2 weeks in there. So all experience levels are welcomed. I do have a free TCU course, free TCU blueprint that you can check out to kind of give you an understanding of my strategy, understanding of the market, stuff like that. And if you guys want to trade live with me, I do show you my trades. I tell you why we're entering. I kind of break down the market all live for you guys. And then on the weekends, we have weekend educational calls where we learn about something that revolves around trading, business, life, psychology, stuff like that. And then on Sundays, we usually go ahead and break down the markets. So all experience levels are welcomed. The fourth question is, how much money do I need to start day trading? This varies from person to person. If you are profitable on paper trading and you want to just start trying to make some actual money, you could literally get a 50K account from Top Step for $50. And then if you pass, you pay $149 activation fee. So For $200, you could literally get started and start making money. But if you wanted to actually get started with maybe your own personal account, I would say at the very minimum to start making a little bit of money is $1,000. But I highly recommend, before you think about throwing any money into the market, you should definitely paper trade and get profitable paper trading, and then maybe go the funded route or a personal account. And then, like I said, a funded account, you can literally get funded for as little as like $200 through Top Step. And I know it's cheaper in some other firms. And then with the personal account, I would say the minimum you should have is $1,000. I feel like that's a decent start. The fifth question is, how long did it take you to get your first payout? It honestly took me, I'd say, close to a year and a half, which is definitely on the later side for probably a lot of people. But that's because I was over trading, over leveraging. I wasn't journaling to keep track of my trades as much as I should. And whenever I started working on my discipline and then I started using supply and demand, that's when I started finding profitability, and then I got my first payout, and then it was pretty much uphill from there. I started getting more consistent payouts, bigger payouts, stuff like that. So probably about a year and a half, I'd say, maybe a little less, maybe a little more, but right around that year and a half mark. The sixth question is, do I think supply and demand is the best strategy? For me, yes, it's the best strategy. For everyone else, it might not be. There's a bunch of winning strategies out there, so you really can't say one strategy is the best, because it might work for me, but it might not work for someone else. So for me, supply and demand is the best, but I know there's people out there that are profitable with support and resistance, fair value gaps, and a whole bunch of other strategies. So you really can't say one strategy is the best, but I have found my profitability to be through supply and demand, and I have no plans on changing strategies. The seventh and final question is, do I get annoyed when I have a no trade day? No, I do not. I would rather a winning day, of course, but a no trade day for me is because the market did not give me an opportunity, and I'm not the type of person that's going to force a setup. I've learned the hard way that forcing a setup is not going to make you profitable. So on a no trade day, I'm staying disciplined and I'm staying out in the market. You know, I still show up, but it's not giving me any A+ setups. So that's why I stay cash. I'd rather have a no trade day than a losing day. And it's all a part of my discipline, all a part of my trading plan. So that's what it is. And sometimes our no trade days are pretty often. Maybe we'll have 2 to 3 no trade days during a single week. But most of the time, we're still ending these weeks profitable. So that's all that matters. Just got back from a little gym session, sat by the pool for a little, and edited this video down a little bit. Now I'm going to show you guys a 1 to 4 that we could have had on Friday with a sniper entry. Like, you can literally not get a cleaner entry than what we could have had. And we've gotten plenty of entries like that before, but I really wish we would have caught this trade on Friday. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys that. And hopefully we can get like 2 or 3 of these setups this week. That'd be fire, because the last 2 months have definitely been a little more on the rougher side. This summer price action is just not it. Thankfully, the last week of June, we ended up getting a 10% week, which is crazy. Yes, 10% in 1 week. Super, super fire. But this month has been a rough start. We're still profitable, but we need to have a fire week this week. I wanted to show you guys this setup, so I'm just going to go ahead and kind of break it down how it is. Now, this gray rectangle right here is a level of support. I don't trade support and resistance, but I do tend to mark the levels out, but I only get my entries off levels of supply and demand. But you can see this level right here, we bounce off of it multiple times, broke through it, came and retested it, right? The important thing is we had an H1 level of supply right here, as you can see. Then we had an M15 in confluence, an M1 in confluence, and an M5 in confluence. And this would have had a 20-point stop loss. And you can see we would have went all the way to a 1 to 4. Would have been a crazy solid trade. But I wanted to show you guys the entry that we could have had. We did not enter this trade because you can see it came in at 1150. We were already off by then. But look at this entry. This is the H1 time frame, right? This is at H1 level of supply. Let's go to the M15. This is our M15 level of supply. Our M5 level of supply is right here, and our M1 level of supply was marked out right here. Now remember, you marked the previous contract candle to the move, right? So those were the previous contract candles. We marked those out. This is the entry. Notice how we literally tapped right into that H1 perfectly, got a nice reversal off that level, and then we just dropped from there all the way to a 1 to 4. we would have taken no drawdown whatsoever. Right when our limit order would have been hit, we would have instantly went into profit. This is the exact type of setup I love to see. I love this trade, and this is why it's a high probability setup for us. We had 4 time frames in Confluence, which is huge for us. A lot of times when we can have 4 time frames in Confluence, that is definitely looking like an A+ setup, especially if price action's looking good when it's approaching that level, especially if you're with trends, stuff like that. It's 8 o'clock now, and you can see we are back into this level. I'm curious to see what this does in Asian session and London session. But like I told the members, I won't be surprised if we push past this level, to be honest. And if it doesn't happen during Asian and London session, if we start to get some bullishness, I bet we'll just push right past it. Regardless, this could have been a super solid trade on Friday, and we could have ended the week off with a banger. This is where I'm going to wrap up the video. It's been a productive day. I still got to cook dinner, take a shower, finish editing this video because I do want it posted tonight, so I got to do that. And then after all that, I'm going to probably film 1 to 2 shorts. And by the time I'm done with all that, it's probably going to be like 11:30, 12 o'clock, and then we'll call it a night. But if you guys want to trade live with me and gain access to the educational calls, you can click the link in my bio on YouTube or Instagram, or you can click the link in the description down below. We're live literally Monday through Friday live trading, and Saturday and Sundays we have the educational calls and we have the Sunday market session. So I highly recommend you guys join while the prices are low. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.